You are now listening to Appointment, a podcast dedicated to showcasing the very best direct primary care providers in your community. These guests are taking the initiative to transform how you receive your healthcare services by simplifying the process and improving how healthcare is done. Appointment is sponsored by AppAccess, helping independent healthcare providers and entrepreneurs take control of their online presence by better engaging their mobile audiences no matter where they are. Learn more at appaccessllc.com. I am your host, Jonathan Christopher, and let's get started. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Jonathan Christopher, and I am your host of Appointment. Appointment is a podcast dedicated to the direct primary care model. I want to take a moment and thank AppAccess for sponsoring the show. There's a lot to cover, and I wanted to at least give an introduction to the show. I'll probably have to break it down into a handful of episodes to make it more convenient and fit the model that I have set forward for this podcast. I think a good place to start is to discuss what direct primary care is. And there are a lot of sources that we can look at if we're going to come up with a definition or get one that's provided for us. I have selected to use the AAFP definition. That's the American Association of Family Physicians. And they define direct primary care as follows, and I quote, "The direct primary care model gives family physicians a meaningful alternative to fee-for-service insurance billing, typically by charging patients a monthly, quarterly, or annual fee that covers all or most primary care services, including clinical, laboratory, and consultative services, and care coordination and comprehensive care management. Because some services are not covered by a retainer, DPC practices often suggest that patients acquire a high-deductible wraparound policy to cover emergencies. Direct primary care benefits patients by providing substantial savings and a greater degree of access to and time with physicians." End quote. So yeah, that's a lot of info to take in. I had to take a deep breath on one of those sentences. But basically, direct primary care is about improving the service that is provided directly to patients. So direct primary care basically is a way of improving the relationship and the exchange between the primary care provider and the patient, rather than having to go through a third party and have them delegate how to provide healthcare services to a patient. DPC emphasizes the direct engagement between the patient and the physician or the physician assistant healthcare providers, RNs and such. So I'm really excited. I found out about this not too long ago, and I'm so excited that I wanted to dedicate a show that would be able to share the word about direct primary care to more people, especially in a format that is becoming more popular, which is audio. I, for one, listen to a lot of podcasts, and I'm sure that that group is growing every day. So there are a lot of organizations that have taken upon themselves the charge of advocating for direct primary care. And this includes, like I took the quote from the AAFP, and their website is aafp.org. There are other websites that include other organizations such as dpcare.org, dpcfrontier.com. Then there's the DPC Alliance. There's also DPC Coalition, as well as DPC Journal. And I'm sure there are many other organizations and people that are advocating for this model of practice. And I'm glad to see the momentum pick up in recent years. So this show will be kept to a very short format. And the reason for that is because there are a lot of podcasts. and it's growing a lot every day. However, there are very few that have decided to take on a short form design that fits with a lot of the more smart devices and smart speaker systems that are becoming more and more prevalent in homes. Specifically, Amazon Alexa, Google Home, and devices like that are specialists in terms of audio and providing content that is very short form, very convenient, very easily digestible. And I wanted to keep that as the main goal for the show. So in future shows, I hope to talk more about who I am and how I found out about direct primary care. And the goals for the show, I want to be able to interview some providers and learn about their motivations and backgrounds, tell us about their practice and their services, pricing. We want to talk about marketing and promotions, things that direct primary care providers should consider doing if they want to continue to grow their practice and reach more people in their respective communities, as well as talk about some current events, legislation, special events, promotions, things like that. We want to always make sure that we keep it short. So it's about getting in and getting out and sharing the word in a concise manner. And I hope to speak to you next time where I discuss who I am and tell you a little bit about how I found out about DPC and my journey to this point. And, we'll cover a whole bunch of stuff to cover. So we'll talk about it next time. Thanks for listening in, and I look forward to speaking to you next time.